Hey y'all, this is not the video that I had planned on making today. I actually have another topic to film, but this was inspired by TikTok, and I'm gonna place the TikTok here. Hold on, let me adjust my camera. I'm gonna place the TikTok here.
Am I the only one that's noticing that they're trying to push this narrative that, like, when women ovulate, we're just turning into these rabid sexual animals? Like,
Oh, it's funny when people are speaking now. She didn't. I don't feel like she fully explained her point. She did. She explained it more in the comment section on TikTok. She did not explain it in the caption, and she didn't explain it in the video at all. Now that's when. Now you don't have to, but when people are saying one point and you mean another, because a lot of people take things literally. I made a video one time and I meant exactly what I said, and a person completely misconstrued it and thought I meant it in another way. I said, no, exactly what I said is how I meant. And I'm not explaining further because I literally said exactly what I meant. You wanted to misconstrue it. But she went on to further say that the women who are over exaggerating, like there were some women who were literally like doing weird, gross ass, nasty ass shit. Now those women have an issue. Those women have a mental issue that's already pre-existing. But she was going back and forth with women in the comment section saying, oh, to say that you feel animalistic, why we gotta reduce ourselves to animals? Humans aren't animals. Which is why the conversation, even with men, when it comes to sex and things, we at our base level, we are animals. We are sexual beings. But that's why from a young age you have to teach people how to have another outlet for that, how to discuss that, how to get that energy out in a way that does not harm people, does not offend you, people, doesn't harm yourself. That's the process and the training of taking is it your left brain, which is more creative, that fiery energy, and right brain is the more like larger. I be forgetting sometimes. But that's why from a young age you start to have those building blocks to kind of deter, that because we evolved. We're not going to go out and hump a tree in my Karen Walker voice like, we living in 500 BC or some shit. We're not going to do that shit because we have evolved over time. But those women who go out and do some of the most gross things, they already have mental issues. Just like the men who go out and do gross things, they can't control themselves. That's a fucking problem. It's already a problem. But to downplay when women are giving their experiences about their period, about pregnancy, especially black women, about ovulation, about menopause, that actually does more harm than good. She's saying that there's a narrative that people are trying to push. Oh, women act from their hormones. Well, if they already use that excuse, honey. They already use that excuse. And there's a reason why a lot more women did not expect their hormones to just get switched on, like go into overdrive after 25, 30, 40, and 50s, because we don't talk about these things. Women do not talk about these things. Then she made a video saying that she called her mother and her aunt, and she was like, well, they didn't go through it, so it doesn't happen. Like, that's the same narrative that goes on and on when it comes to women giving birth and saying that they feel like they're about to pass out or there's a medical emergency and people aren't listening to them. That weirdness. And it's a feeling of shame around our bodies as sexual beings, because we are sexual beings. From the moment we come into this earth, we are sexual beings. Creative energy is sexual energy. And a lot of people think it in the most disgusting, perverted way, because when they hear that, because they're not comfortable with talking about sex. They're not comfortable with discussing sexual pleasure. They're not comfortable with discussing how your body may feel when you're going through these changes in your physical body. There are some women who won't even talk about their experiences with menopause when it comes to their daughters. They won't let them know shit, so they had to find out by themselves. There are some women who didn't discuss, and it's trauma for pregnancy, the things that they went through with pregnancy. So their daughters are just like, you know, it's that shame is the patriarchy. That shame is misogyny. That shame is religious Christian patriarchal bullshit. Not just Christian, but religious patriarchal bullshit that keeps being spread over and over and over and over again. That actually causes women more harm than good. It goes to the baseline of everything. If you have these feelings, right, and you don't know what to do with them, you don't have an outlet for them. Somebody made you suppress them. Somebody made you feel like your anger wasn't valid. Somebody made you angry and then gaslit you. Somebody abused you. You may get diagnosed as someone who is bipolar, and it could have been prevented because if you had a healthier outlet, you wouldn't feel, you know, all irate and all over the place. You would have a better direction to aim your emotions and your feelings and your frustrations in. I read through the comments because I'm a reader. I'm a researcher. I read through all of her comments underneath of the video that she originally posted, and she kept arguing how, well, this didn't happen, and this woman said this didn't happen. I feel like y'all over exaggerating. She's not even 30 yet. She's not even 30 yet. You got women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s saying, honey, it was different after I turned 30. Don't get me started on 40, honey. Like, I have to lock myself in a room, and not like you're going to go out and ravish just any and everybody. But like literally, you there's this part of you that gets awakened. Like how Shakira said there's a she-wolf in her closet, let her out so it can breathe, you know, and she's howling at the moon. That energy. I even have the book. Oh, this is the perfect book for this example. Women Who Run with the Wolves. This is the perfect example of those stories. Wild women. Society does not want women to know their power. Men can run around acting like ravenous wolves. Acting like ravenous monsters, and it's okay. Well, it's not okay. Men are demonized. Shut up. It's expected because he's a man. Oh, he gets emotional. He's a man. He gets angry. That's what men do. That's normalized. Especially if you go even smaller, especially if you're a black woman. And you are around certain groups of people, they expect men to act like animals. Women can't because of hysteria. You know, back in the day when they wanted their wives to be sedated because she dared call her husband out on the shit that he didn't do. That's power that we have. This right here, get this book if you can. I also have a PDF, but go support the writer. Clarissa Pinkola Estes, PhD. Myths and Stories of the Wild Woman Archetype. That's power. That's power down there, honey. And it's similar. That's how you know we are. I started to say we're more alike than we're different, but that's not true. In terms of being a human, because men talk about the same thing, semen retention, but they do it in like a egotistical way. If you take that energy that you feel, yes, you could use it towards sex. That's healthy, you know, because some people are like, no, don't ever use it for sex. Sex bad, sex evil, sex nasty. Chill out, Hotep. Okay, you sound like Christians. All right, sex is very healthy. There are, you know, having discernment, having self-respect, having, you know, high self-esteem and being choosy with who you share that with, as well as saying, is there something else that I could be doing right now? Hell, even doing it with yourself, honey. It could be fun. But if you're like, oh my God, okay, I need to do something with this energy, because I like the last eclipse. Let me give a little tidbit of my own experience. The last eclipse, honey. Oh man, 4 times one day. And I said, okay, I gotta do something with this energy, because it's making me feel like if I had a partner into the wee hours of the morning, honey, and probably into the next day, because your body wants to procreate, it wants to create, it wants to unleash that power that you have. And so many people are afraid of it because they know how powerful it is when it comes to women. They know how powerful that animalistic sexual energy is when it comes to women, because when we feel that shit, especially after 30, 40, 50, and if you don't feel it, okay, cool. You know, everybody is different. Why are we going back to the time, because speaking of a propaganda and an agenda, why are we going back to a time where we're not being real about the shit that women experience? I remember growing up and my period was so painful. Like, it was so bad. From the moment I started my period up until the first time that I pushed a human life through me, I used to black out for my periods. It was that bad. And when I tell you nobody believed me, oh, you may have it. I don't have endometriosis. I don't have PCOS. I don't have PMDD. I may have PMDD, but I don't have PCOS. I may had, because my periods have been fine for the last 5, 6-ish years, you know. But nobody believed me. I go to my gynecologist because I'm like, what's going on? Like, you know, what's happening? And this is not normal. Like, I black out during my period. Oh, it's not that serious. It's just a little cramps. Between 10 years old and 23 years old, I remember working, and I was a store manager. I had to open up the store, and I remember blacking out before having to go to work. And waking up, and it was Christmas morning or Christmas Eve, waking up and being like, well, I can't call out. That's before I quit. I haven't worked a job in 10 years. And being like, well, I can't call out. I got to go open the store. Pills didn't work. Birth control didn't work. None of that shit worked. And every time I would go to a gynecologist, they would always downplay. Except for once, and I was Planned Parenthood. Shout out to y'all. But by that time, that was already when I was pushing the human up. So it wasn't a point, you know. But they downplayed it. Oh, it's just a little cramps. Or if the gynecologist herself didn't experience pain that bad, she doubted that anybody else could experience pain that bad. Your body is not the only experience. Your life is not the only experience. Your hormones are not the only experience. That is kind of narcissistic. Like, those are narcissistic traits. That's selfish. It is. Those are some narcissistic, to think that because you didn't experience something means that nobody else can have an experience different from yours, or from your mother's, or from your sisters. Hell, I've even heard of some women lying because of how ashamed they were that they experienced things that the human body wasn't known to experience. That's how deep, like, religious and patriarchal bullshit runs. Women have lied to their daughters about shit like that. I think it was my mother. Yeah, it was my mother who said that her mother, my grandmother, lied about pregnancy. She got pregnant, 8, 9 times? And it wasn't until she got much older that she found out how bad it was. She lied because, oh, a woman's supposed to go through pregnancy with grace and bullshit. Bullshit. And so pushing the narrative, like, I agree with her on the front. Like I said, I agree with her on the front of just some women are just, you already had issues. I'm in the adult industry. I remember, the North remembers, when heifers was doing the most nasty, grossest, bitch, you deserve to be up underneath of the prison shit in public. Like, I got blocked by many a heifer because I was calling them out on some of the most disgusting shit that they were doing. I was like, you're off. There's something going on with your fucking brain. It is. And you need help. You don't need to be in public. You need to be under a watch somewhere. St. Elizabeth. If you're from DC, you know St. Elizabeth. You need to be watched. Because what the fuck? However, that wasn't her only point. She was negating the entire experience that women were literally telling her, honey. Sometimes I feel like howling at the moon. I've actually howled at the moon. I did that once. It was so much fun. But that's how much raw, unfiltered energy. And I don't mean like, oh, you're gonna go out and step. No. It feels like, I love it. It feels like a power that's building within you. And if you don't know what to do with it, if you're not taught how to harness that power, if you're not taught that that could be a good thing, if you're shamed for that type of thing and you grew up in shame, or you grew up just acting however the fuck you want to act when it comes to your emotions and shit, you don't have any control. And I don't mean control like stuffing it down and pretending it doesn't exist. Literally, like, I feel like going out and I feel like calling up that ex that I'm not supposed to be calling up and humping all over. If you don't have, like, that's what I mean. If you don't have, like, that type of control to say, all right, let me get my collection of toys, or if I have a partner and they, want to do whatever with me, let me do that. But if I still feel it, let me go dance. Oh, when you feel that energy and you just want to... I knocked the top off my cup. Literally burst burst through the lid. If you don't have, going dancing, painting, making art, I've used that power this year alone to work on 3 different businesses. 3 different businesses, especially when it comes to, and that's the real reason why they want to control it. That's the narrative they're pushing. Not solely women belong in the kitchen, they need to give birth. That's a part of it. But if women tap into this power here, which we are. We're not ashamed to talk about it anymore. We will stop talking about it in public. And we'll have our little, meetings and things to discuss it with our daughters and our sisters and, the girls who are coming of age and things like that. And to have women tap into this power right here, which we are, and they can't control it. Because now we have social media to talk about it. Now we have websites, more access to everybody, which is why they want to block certain things on sites. Control. Because an energy like that type of force, and also women know what to do with it. There are a few women, but that's not all. That's not all of it. When women put that creative energy, that fiery energy to work, you could literally tear down empires. And that's what they're afraid of. When women use that fiery wolf, lioness energy, dragon energy, honey, you can literally build new worlds. Not with force, not with violence, with pure love, creativity, fun, passion. And not only will they be long lasting, something fierce, because we're not playing around. We are tapping back into the mother in ways that we haven't fully been able to in a while, because patriarchy. But the mother, Jupiter is in Cancer. And the mother is here, honey, and she ain't going nowhere. So you either get on the winning team and you support the goddesses in your life. You support the feminine, your life will be blessed forever. If you listen, and that goes for other women as well, other femmes and goddesses. You listen to women when they speak and don't downplay their experiences. If I can't relate to this, I can't relate to being a mother who raised a child, I'm going to listen, I'm going to support. I've never raised a child on my own. I'm not going to tell single mothers what they should have and shouldn't have felt, but I'm going to listen and support her as much as I can. If you listen and support that energy, and you take your own power and your own skills, and you come to her and say, how can I help? What do you need? And vice versa. Not only will the empires fall, but new worlds will be built, and they will be long lasting. They will not go anywhere. Especially because we have new education, we have new power, we have new methods of doing things, we have new understanding of how certain things work. We are surviving in ways that our ancestors did. And I'm not just talking about ancestors from the 1700s, I'm not just talking about ancestors from the 1500s. I'm talking about way back. So it's deeper than that. Yes, some of the patriarchy as a last fight, because the shadow masculine is fighting air right now. You know how Monique used to fight. It's fighting air right now. It's trying to get its last sucker punch in, because they know they're going, I'm going down. And they're going to try to fight it tooth and fucking nail, because they know they have no choice. But instead of fighting it, why fight it when you could support the mother, the divine mother, when you could support femmes and women, and support the divine feminine within you? Because people love to forget, taking the white, colonized meaning of what feminine and masculine is. It's not gender roles, it's an energy. We all have the same energy. Confined now, some more than others. There are people who are more masculine and people who are more feminine. Naturally, I've seen people who are both men and women, and I don't mean through trauma. I mean literally, I could tell. Oh, you got big mama energy. You're naturally masculine, but you're like balanced. Or, oh yeah, he's very feminine, but it's like a quiet, reserved, nurturing, masculine, feminine energy. When you support those things and you bring them together, the amount of things that can be built, that can be saved, that can be cultivated and nurtured, baby, is so powerful. Listen to femmes when they have their experiences, because there are even other femmes who just have so much shame surrounding sex that are like, y'all lying, they ain't like that. Nobody's agreeing that women should go out and just fuck on anybody. No. But there's a feeling. And there's a reason why the women who are talking about it in that comment section aren't the ones going out and just fucking anything. Because they're like, they're aware of it and they're able to redirect that energy. Which is why they have no problem talking about it. Because they're like, no, it happens. I just be having to be like, I need to go jog or do some jumping. Because I've been around balanced men who experience something similar, who have a higher testosterone level, because that's essentially what it is. A lot of times they get a lot of work done. They use that energy to build businesses. They use that energy to get buff and go for jogs and shit. They use that energy to go and farm or some shit, chop wood. They are cultivating and redirecting that energy in a way that's going to be more helpful than harmful. So pretending that these things don't exist because, the system may prevent us to, it's already preventing us from, sis. Stop trying to put a band-aid on a system that needs to come crashing down. The more we talk about it, the more we could say, fuck your system. We got our own, because I'm going to go more into sovereignty. We're going to have little countries pop up in America, and there's going to be more sovereign women popping up all over the country. California has already been in talks of making itself its own country. Go look it up. Go look it up. So there's going to be little communities where we're going to be very sovereign and say, fuck your system. Fuck Rome. Let it fall. Walls of Jericho are coming down, honey. We don't need you anymore. You need us, which is why you're trying so hard to control. Because someone who is very powerful doesn't need to control. They're just going to radiate in their power. So the men who see the power within the femme, the masculine folks, because there are masculine women too, I've dated them. And there are masculine women who are straight as well. They see masculine energy, you know, more action, more doing than receiving, you know, or it's just a little bit more than the other. There's a gnat in here because I got the light is calling it in. But they see that power in the women and they're like, I see you, I respect you. What can I do to help? What can I do to support you? How can I be of service to you? One, because I appreciate you. I hear your struggle. I hear your story. But also, I know that me helping you will bring those blessings to me. Will bring that good energy to me. Will bring that wealth and that love and that nurturing to me as well. So it's not like I'm losing something by trying not to control you or choosing not to control you. I'm actually gaining something while I'm helping you, while I'm assisting you and supporting you, while I'm honoring you. So honoring the film is listening to our stories, is being a helpmate, man. It's talking, it's providing a platform for women to actually give their experiences while you it's having a dialogue back and forth. It's women who are still feel a little shamed of sex, because that's what it is, it's shame. Because even science says you know, if you don't believe in, you know, this makes you feel uncomfortable, science agrees, honey. There's something that goes off in our brains around 30, and some people feel it like after that first Saturn return, 27, 28. Some people feel it then too, some more than others. It's an energy thing depending on the person, as you know, as well. Even science says that there is a change that happens in the body. It's the patriarchy that doesn't want us to acknowledge that, because that's power. Think about that. Why should women be ashamed to talk about sex if men wants to have sex with women? I even had a guy friend say that. He's like, I never understood that. I like having sex with women. I like when women talk about sex. I like when women talk about having sex with me. Why wouldn't I want women to have sex and talk about sex? He said, because I don't do anything to make women not want to have sex with me. So the only conclusion I could come to is that the men who don't want women to talk about sex do things that make women not want to have sex with them. So they don't even want to hear about it. They don't even want to see it, because they know they have no chance in hell. I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyway, y'all, I'm about to go turn my fan on because it's a tad bit warm in this room. So this is also why I don't get off of social media so much, because sometimes scrolling on the timeline, I get inspired to make a video like this. So I'm gonna upload it in its fullness, just like this, 28 minutes of me and all of my divineness. If you appreciated this discussion and you want to support a goddess, which you should, right here is how you do it. That's my Cash App. And if you want to do it anonymously via crypto, I have that information down below as well. So, you know, go on and give it, because goddess will appreciate it and you will be blessed. So until next time, repeat after me. Something good is going to happen to me today. Okay. Until next time, have some fruit, eat some good leafy vegetables, some good greenery or something filled with water and some nutrients. Drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, because it's hot as hell, y'all. It's hot as hell. And until next time,